Ladies and gentlemen, all right, let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a situation where it felt like there was no way out, no way forward? You were so wrapped up in the problem that you couldn't see beyond it, right? We've all been there, but let me tell you something. When you focus on possibilities instead of problems, that's when everything starts to change. It's like flipping a switch, turning the darkness into light. I want you to stay with me because by the end of this speech, you're going to see how you can shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from limitations to opportunities, and start living a life filled with potential. You don't want to miss this because what I'm about to share could change the way you look at everything. Don't go anywhere. When you change your perspective, it's like stepping into a new world, one that's filled with possibilities instead of limitations. When you focus on possibilities, you begin to see opportunities in places you never thought to look before. We all have moments where things feel impossible. Maybe it's that project at work that's overwhelming, or a personal goal that feels like it's slipping further away every day. But let me tell you something. It's all about how you look at it. The reason so many people get stuck is because they see problems as walls instead of bridges. They see a setback as the end of the road, when in fact it's just a detour. What happens when you focus on possibilities is that you train yourself to look for the open doors, even when it seems like there are none. The problem is we've all been conditioned to react to challenges by thinking about everything that can go wrong. It's natural. When something goes wrong, it feels like the sky is falling and we panic. But the truth is, every time a door closes, another one opens. The trick is not to let fear or frustration keep you from seeing that door. Instead, focus on the possibilities that lie behind it. It all comes down to mindset. When your perspective shifts from a negative to a positive one, it becomes easier to spot the opportunities around you. It's not that the challenges go away, they're still there. But now you've trained yourself to ask different questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what can I learn from this? How can I use this situation to grow? You start to see problems not as obstacles, but as stepping stones. The possibilities are endless once you allow yourself to think beyond the current situation. And let me tell you, this isn't just wishful thinking or some motivational fluff. This is real. I've seen people make the most of terrible situations simply because they refuse to let the circumstances dictate their mindset. They chose to focus on what was possible, and in doing so, they opened themselves up to solutions, ideas, and paths that they would never have seen if they stayed stuck in the problem. This is about empowering yourself. You don't need to wait for life to hand you opportunities. When you start focusing on possibilities, you become your own opportunity maker. What this perspective also does is it gives you control. Life can feel chaotic and unpredictable, and sometimes we don't have control over what happens to us, but we always have control over how we respond. Focusing on possibilities means you're not a passive participant in your life, you're an active creator. You start to feel like you're in the driver's seat, not just along for the ride. You stop letting circumstances define your success and start defining it for yourself. And here's the kicker. When you focus on possibilities, you inspire others to do the same. Your energy becomes magnetic. People are drawn to you because they can see the way you light up a room with your positive outlook. They see how you handle challenges and how you refuse to be bogged down by them. It's contagious. When you start seeing possibilities, others will start seeing them too. Your attitude becomes a force that transforms not only your life, but the lives of the people around you. So when life gets tough, take a moment, step back, and ask yourself, what's possible here? Shift your perspective from seeing walls to seeing doors. Focus on the possibilities. And I promise you, you'll start living a life that's full of opportunities you never imagined. The choice is yours. Focus on the problem or focus on the possibility. But remember, when you focus on what's possible, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that can hold us back from reaching our full potential. It's like a heavy weight on your chest, keeping you from moving forward, from taking risks, from reaching for the stars. The problem with fear is that it often clouds our vision. We become so consumed with the idea of failure, with the potential for things to go wrong, that we completely miss out on the possibilities that lie ahead. But here's the secret. Fear is always going to be there. It's a natural part of life. And if you wait for it to disappear before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. Instead, you have to learn how to face fear head on and choose to focus on the possibilities. When you focus on possibilities, you change the way you approach fear. Instead of letting it paralyze you, you learn to use it as fuel. Yes, fear is uncomfortable. It's scary. And sometimes it makes you question everything you're doing. But it doesn't have to stop you. In fact, fear can be a signal that you're on the right path. It's often when we're doing something new, something outside our comfort zone, that fear rears its ugly head. And that's when you need to remind yourself that the possibility on the other side of fear is worth it. Fear is just a sign that you're pushing boundaries, that you're growing, that you're about to break through to the next level. So don't let it control you. Use it to your advantage. Think about the times in your life when you faced something that terrified you. Maybe it was starting a new job, taking a leap of faith in a relationship, or trying something completely unfamiliar. In those moments, you had two choices. You could focus on the fear, let it take over, and decide not to take the chance, or you could focus on the possibilities, on the opportunity to grow, to learn, to experience something new. And chances are, if you chose to focus on the possibilities, you came out the other side stronger, more confident, and with a story to tell. That's the power of focusing on possibilities in the face of fear. One of the most powerful things about focusing on possibilities is that it helps you reframe your thinking. Instead of letting fear dictate your decisions, you begin to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And when you ask that question, you realize that the worst case scenario often isn't as bad as you thought. Most of the time, the fear we feel is not based on reality. It's based on our own assumptions, our own doubts, and our own worries about what could happen. But when you start focusing on the possibilities, you push past those fears and realize that the rewards far outweigh the risks. And it's not just about pushing through fear in one big moment. It's about doing it every day. Every time you face a challenge, every time you take a step towards something new, you're going to feel fear. But the more you face it, the less power it has over you. When you choose to focus on the possibilities rather than the fears, you start building momentum. Every time you step into fear, you grow stronger, you grow bolder, and you begin to see that fear is just another part of the journey. So, the next time fear tries to stop you in your tracks, take a deep breath, acknowledge it, and then shift your focus. Look for the possibilities that are hidden beneath that fear. Because the truth is, fear is not a sign to stop, it's a sign to go. And when you focus on the possibilities, you'll find that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. Fear may be present, but it doesn't have to stop you. Focus on the possibilities, and you'll break through that fear like it was never even there. One of the biggest mistakes people make when faced with challenges is they think success is a straight path. They believe it should be easy, that once they set their goal, everything should fall into place without much effort. But the truth is, life doesn't work like that. The road to success is rarely smooth, and the sooner you accept that, the easier it becomes to focus on the possibilities instead of being discouraged by the obstacles. Obstacles aren't signs that you're not meant to succeed. They're the tests that help you grow. Every challenge, every setback, every failure along the way is not a roadblock, it's an opportunity for you to level up. The key is to change the way you look at these obstacles and start seeing them as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. When you focus on possibilities, you begin to see that obstacles are part of the process. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going the way you plan. You set out with high hopes, you work hard, and then suddenly something happens. An unexpected problem arises, or you hit a dead end. But the best thing you can do when you encounter an obstacle is to reframe it. Instead of seeing it as an insurmountable problem, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or what's the opportunity in this situation? When you take this mindset into every obstacle you face, you start to realize that each challenge is just another chance to grow, to expand your perspective, and to find new solutions. This is where persistence comes into play. Too many people give up when the going gets tough because they're only looking at the problem. But when you focus on the possibilities, you see that failure isn't the end, it's a redirection. Maybe that path you were trying to take wasn't meant for you after all. Maybe the universe is guiding you towards something better, something you hadn't even considered. And the only way to see that is by staying open to the possibilities, by refusing to get stuck on the obstacles that appear in your way. If you let those obstacles define you, you'll never get anywhere. But if you see them as opportunities to learn, to pivot, to grow, you'll find yourself moving forward faster than you ever imagined. One of the most powerful things about focusing on possibilities is that it allows you to become creative. When you're stuck in a problem-focused mindset, your options seem limited. You feel boxed in, like there's no way out. But when you shift your focus to possibilities, your mind opens up to new and creative solutions. You start thinking outside the box. You begin to ask yourself questions like, what else can I do? Or how can I approach this differently? And that's when the magic happens. You start seeing solutions that you wouldn't have thought of before, solutions that might not have seemed possible until you started to think differently. It's also important to recognize that you don't have to have all the answers right away. Success isn't about having everything figured out from the start. It's about being willing to take the first step, then the second, and the third, even if you don't know exactly where the path leads. By focusing on the possibilities, you're giving yourself permission to fail, to try again, and to keep moving forward. Each small victory along the way builds momentum, and eventually those obstacles that once seemed so insurmountable start to feel like nothing at all. Remember, the only true failure is quitting. As long as you keep moving, keep looking for the possibilities, and keep learning from the obstacles, you're on the right track. Life isn't meant to be easy, but it is meant to be filled with endless opportunities for growth. When you focus on the possibilities, you start to see that even the toughest challenges are part of the journey to success, and there's always a way forward if you're willing to look for it. The more you focus on what you can do, what you can learn, and what you can create, the less the obstacles will hold you back. Instead, they'll propel you forward. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success should be fast, that every step forward should be met with immediate results. But real success takes time. It's built over years of small, consistent actions. It's not the big leaps that make the difference. It's the small steps you take every single day to add up to massive progress. Most people get discouraged when they don't see immediate results. They put in the work for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, and if they don't see the big payoff, they start doubting themselves and their goals. They wonder if it's worth it, and many give up before they see the fruits of their labor. But here's the thing, real progress happens gradually. It's about looking at the long-term picture instead of expecting instant gratification. When you focus on the possibilities, you begin to understand that success isn't about the speed, it's about the consistency. You have to trust the process and know that every little action you take today is setting you up for something bigger tomorrow. Every conversation you have, every email you send, every small decision you make is adding value to your journey. You may not see it in the moment, but those small moments, those small actions are building the foundation for your future. And when you focus on the possibilities, you see that you're on the right path, even if the results aren't showing up immediately. Think about any major achievement you've had in your life, whether it's building a career, learning a new skill, or starting a business. I guarantee you didn't get there overnight. There were countless small steps, moments of doubt, and challenges along the way. But you didn't quit. You kept moving forward, even when it felt like you weren't making progress. And now when you look back, you realize that all of those small steps were necessary to get you where you are today. The key to success isn't in how quickly you get there. It's in your ability to keep going, to keep pushing, even when you don't see immediate results. This mindset shift is liberating. It takes the pressure off and allows you to focus on the long-term game. You stop stressing about how fast you're moving and instead focus on staying consistent. Consistency doesn't mean you won't have bad days or setbacks. It means you keep showing up even when things aren't going perfectly. You keep going because you understand that the process is just as important as the outcome. The power of focusing on possibilities is that you become more patient with yourself and with the process. You realize that progress doesn't always look like progress in the way you expect it to. It's not always a straight line. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But as long as you keep moving forward, even at a slow pace, you're getting closer to your goal. Success isn't an event, it's a process. And when you focus on the possibilities, you understand that each day is a building block. Each small action is part of the foundation you're laying. So the next time you feel discouraged because progress seems slow, remember that the small steps matter. They add up. They're the building blocks of your success. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work and trust that every small action is leading you closer to the future you want. Focus on the possibilities that are waiting for you when you stay consistent and know that in time, your patience and persistence will pay off. Progress is progress, no matter how small it may seem in the moment. And when you focus on the possibilities, you'll start to see just how far you've come, even when it doesn't feel like much at first. Success is a journey, not a sprint. Keep moving forward and you'll get there, step by step. There is a common misconception that success is all about what you already know or what you can do on your own. The reality is, no one achieves greatness in isolation. Your success is deeply connected to the people you surround yourself with, the relationships you build, the network you cultivate, and the mentors you lean on have a massive impact on the possibilities that lie ahead for you. When you focus on possibilities, you realize that collaboration and connection are key drivers of success. It's about recognizing that you don't have to do everything by yourself, and that sometimes the best way to move forward is by bringing others along with you. Think about it. Every successful person you admire didn't get there on their own. Whether it's an entrepreneur, an athlete, or a creative, they all had people who helped them along the way, people who challenged them, supported them, and offered their expertise. And just as importantly, they were willing to learn from others. One of the most powerful things you can do is open yourself up to the experiences and perspectives of those around you. When you do, you start seeing possibilities that you wouldn't have noticed before. You start thinking outside of your own limited experience and tapping into the collective wisdom that others bring to the table. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you need to have all the answers, or that your success depends solely on your individual efforts. But the truth is, your success is amplified when you connect with others. When you focus on possibilities, you begin to see that the people you interact with are not just potential collaborators, they are potential gateways to new opportunities. The people you meet, the conversations you have, and the communities you build are all part of the equation that leads to greater success. The more you network, the more doors open for you. You start gaining access to new ideas, new resources, and new experiences that you wouldn't have had if you stayed in your own bubble. But it's not just about the people you meet. It's also about how you support those around you. Success isn't just about taking, it's about giving. When you focus on possibilities, you realize that success is a two-way street. The more you invest in others, the more you build your own support system. You'll find that the more you help others achieve their goals, the more they'll help you achieve yours. There's a ripple effect that happens when you offer your time, knowledge, and encouragement to others. It creates a cycle of growth and positivity that benefits everyone involved. Building a strong network and fostering meaningful relationships isn't just about making contacts, it's about building trust, offering value, and being open to learning from others. The people you surround yourself with will either lift you up or drag you down. And the more you focus on the possibilities within those relationships, the more powerful your network becomes. When you surround yourself with like-minded individuals who challenge you to think bigger, work harder, and strive for more, you start seeing your own potential in a whole new light. You begin to understand that the success of those around you doesn't take away from your own, it only adds to it. The power of collaboration lies in the fact that you can't see everything on your own. We all have blind spots, areas where we lack expertise and limitations that can slow us down. But when you focus on possibilities and surround yourself with people who bring different perspectives and skills to the table, you expand your own understanding and increase your chances of success. The more you focus on the potential for collaboration, the more you'll realize that your success is not a solo mission, it's a shared journey. So don't underestimate the value of relationships and connections. They are a crucial part of the possibilities that await you. Whether it's finding a mentor, building a team, or simply connecting with people who inspire you, the more you focus on the power of relationships, the more opportunities you'll have to learn, grow, and succeed. Your success is not just about what you can do on your own. It's about what you can achieve when you tap into the collective power of the people around you. So make those connections, invest in relationships, and watch how the possibilities multiply. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you have to wait for the perfect conditions to make your move. People often tell themselves, I'll start when I have everything in place, or I'll go after my dreams once I have all the resources I need. But let me tell you, that is the fastest way to stay stuck. The truth is, if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. There will always be something else to do, something you feel like you need, or something that's not quite right yet. Perfection is an illusion, and chasing it can keep you from ever getting started. The key to making progress and unlocking the possibilities ahead is to start now, right where you are. You might not have everything you think you need, and that's okay. What you do have is what matters most. You have your vision, your determination, and the willingness to learn as you go. Those are the real ingredients for success. Don't let the lack of perfect circumstances stop you. Focus on what you can do with what you have in this moment. Even if it feels like it's not enough, I promise you it's more than enough to take that first step. The beauty of starting right now is that you give yourself the chance to learn and grow. When you wait, you miss out on the lessons that come from taking action. You miss the opportunity to learn from your mistakes and to pivot when things don't go as planned. And let me tell you, things won't always go according to plan. That's a part of the process. But each time you take a step forward, even if it's not the perfect step, you're learning and evolving. You're building momentum that will carry you forward. There's a saying that goes, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's a powerful reminder that no one is perfect when they begin. Think about the most successful people in the world. None of them started out knowing everything or having it all figured out. They took action, they faced challenges, they made mistakes, and they kept going. That's how they got to where they are today. They didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They started and they learned along the way. Starting now doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out. It doesn't mean you won't face obstacles or setbacks. What it means is that you're willing to take that first step, even if it's imperfect. You're willing to move forward even when you don't know exactly how everything will unfold. That's where the magic happens. That's when you begin to unlock the possibilities that were always there, waiting for you to take action. When you focus on the possibilities, you stop letting perfectionism control your life. You realize that it's not about doing everything flawlessly. It's about making progress, learning from your mistakes, and continuing to move forward. It's about the courage to take action even when you're unsure. And in that uncertainty, you'll discover things about yourself and your journey that you never would have known if you had waited for the right time. So stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Start now with what you have and trust that the rest will follow. Take that first step, even if it feels uncomfortable. As long as you keep moving forward, you'll start to see how many possibilities are out there for you. The real secret to success isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's making the most of the moment you're in right now. You have everything you need to start. So take that step, embrace the journey, and watch how the possibilities unfold in front of you.